Welcome everyone. The moment we've all been waiting for, 20 questions with Nathan and Paniz. We're going to dive into getting to know myself, Vice President here at LegalSoft. The honor of having Paniz here on her birthday, interviewing me. Looking forward to seeing what questions she has in store. Paniz, welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to ask you 21 questions and just like chit chat. Do you have any animals?
I have a little Olive.
Uh-huh.
Olive's my little Bernedoodle. Got her, about a year and a half ago. One of my friends, Joseph, got one, and I said I liked it. He took my credit card and basically just bought me one.
Okay.
And then
Easy. Just like here you go with your own money, like a gift.
And then he flew to Utah, picked her up, came back, and she's like my best friend now.
And she's so cute. When I first moved to America in first grade, I didn't speak English, okay? I met this girl and her name was Olive. And then she goes, "Oh, my name is Olive." And I go, "Oh my God, your name is Olivieh," like the Persian food. So I kept calling her Olivieh. And then I would go home and tell my parents, like, "Oh, I met this girl named Olivieh," like the Persian food that like you eat. And then I just think it's so funny that the name Olive is also a Persian like dish.
And now that's why you call it Olive.
Olivieh.
Picture actually, this is actually my new Costco picture. This was a challenge. This took probably like 18 shots to get Olive to agree to this picture here. But very cute.
Very cute. And this was the day that you were shooting to be on a magazine as well.
Yeah, what was it called? E-Wire?
World Leaders.
World Leaders.
Yeah. So people who entrepreneurs. So yeah, you've been on a magazine, you've been doing big things. When you search Nathan Sumekh, you have a whole full photo that comes up now.
Yeah.
So it's like great things like that.
I mean, the biggest thing we've done is freaking having almost close to 2,000 staff overseas work for us.
Yeah, that's insane.
Provide them opportunities. I mean, we basically work for them, connecting them, giving them jobs, health insurance, retirement plans, spouse health insurance. You know, we got a corporate rate for insurances, so they're able to give, their kids or family or cousins a health insurance at a quarter of the cost.
Yeah.
And locally there they get, dollars, very few dollars an hour, no benefits. They get to work from home, take care of their family. We guarantee them jobs, guarantee the sustainability and structure, so it's not like every day is this crazy thing. And so some of the most impactful things were kind of being able to do that for so many agents, and the appreciation has been really amazing with their but really having the being exposed to kind of the global talent really showed how big the world really is and how small it is at the same time. Where someone on the other side of the country, for instance, I have this, one of my top team members is Eula, been there from the start, and couldn't have had this happen without her and a lot of the team members. There's lots of team members that couldn't have this happen, and so really just an open mindset of we don't care how it gets done, but let's just get it done. Allowed us to connect with people from all over the world to make this amazing thing happen.
I have a virtual assistant as well. And right before LegalSoft pledged the $1.3 million to like for our benefits and stuff, for her it was like a worry because she's now pregnant and she couldn't find jobs that was going to kind of take care of her for like
maternity
leave, for like spousal, like for her future. So she's always telling me like, "Thank you so much. Like, I'm so happy. Like now when she gets pregnant, she doesn't have to worry about not making money," just because ideally, like if they live in different countries, people think it's like cheaper there, like their currency, like living life is cheaper. But you still have to make money to like live your life, support your kids, and at least have a roof over your head. So I know they're all like really happy about that. I don't know any other company, I'll throw a shade, any other virtual staffing company that does any of these things for their virtual assistants.
Yeah, they're probably out there, and I think all of them have the right.
You don't have to be nice. You don't have to be. I know that I've done my research.
No,
they're not doing it the way we are because we actually care.
Yeah, no, all of them are doing it, and they're getting there. The thing with us is just how hard we went so fast, and we have teams set up for anything that can happen. We have 7 global offices. We have compliance attorneys in every single country. We have all the tracking set up and the software set up. So building out this kind of infrastructure this fast has been remarkable. The team appreciates it, and the clients are appreciating it too.
Exactly. Let's do a more serious conversation. So I know people ask the questions, or people that I know too, they're like, "Oh, like you work for this company, like you guys do this, like I can do this myself too. Like I can open up this company, like do the marketing for it, like social media. I can do better than you guys." But I don't think people understand all the materials or like I don't even know that word. All this, the comprehensive stuff that goes into it to building a successful business, not necessarily even a law firm, but like a business like this, from your experience from like starting until now, give us kind of, don't give us the full business formula, but kind of what what is it that people don't understand about running a business that they think you can just pay money and then right away they have it all.
Yeah, if you talk to anyone who's done it, who's actually started a successful business, doesn't matter what it is, no one's going to say it was easy. The same way if you go talk to any law firm and they're well established, you go, oh, it's so easy. You just go settle $1 million case and you do it. No, they probably died setting up that firm. So even though sometimes we might downplay starting up a law firm and setting the whole thing up, it's very challenging to build anything successfully. And this is one of those things. I mean, you have global challenges, you have compliance issues, you have, you know, countries thinking that you're smuggling drugs, sending millions of dollars a month overseas, and
Yeah.
all these different things. No, it really, took a global workforce to kind of get here, do this, and we're nowhere near done. I think I'm working even harder than we did when we first started the company.
But for an example, let's just say like when LegalSoft started, what was like the ground that you guys had that you guys were like, we can do this and this and this? So like, was it money, investors, like who was playing the field that you guys were able to go straight and like build up from it? Because a lot of people be like, oh, my mommy and daddy will give me like 50 grand and I can just like do this and this. But they don't understand that, like, for example, what we do like, let's just say when you want to bring in business, you do like run the ads, like do the cold calls, email people. Like there's a lot of factors that go into it that people just think it just comes to you naturally, but it's like you have to put the work in.
Yeah, no, I mean, and it's one thing that people just have to learn on their own.
Okay.
It's
As
hard.
they should.
Yeah, it's hard to convince anyone of anything. I think it's important to know that it is possible, and that if you think you can do it, just work your ass off and do it. Make sure you have enough gas to get to where you want to go, though. Don't just start driving and run out of gas.
But gas is so expensive nowadays. How are you getting there if you don't? Like, you mean as like, I'm saying it jokingly.
Finances and experience and all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like a lot of people try starting a company, and then they run into a bunch of roadblocks, and you gotta be willing to get through them. So no, I mean the naysayers, I think it's important that they know there is a chance and they chase it so it can happen for them. And then the ones who try and don't, it's just like it's not that easy.
And you just lost like so much money that people you probably took out a loan for and then it didn't work out. So that kind of, that sucks.
Lost money, lost opportunity costs. But it's okay. I think as long as people are learning, it's the best bang for your buck. I mean, a lot of times when me and Hamid were struggling and not doing well, I just look back at it as, it's more important to learn how to make $1 million than to actually make it. And so at any point, at least we learned how to do it.
LegalSoft, there's so many employees here, okay? Some people come and they're like, oh, you guys are like the TV show, like The Office, because we just have so much going on here. Do you think like maybe in the future it'd be something in the works, like maybe if they want to make a movie out of you or like a TV show, like would you be down for something like that? Not even you playing it, but like someone wanted to play you as a character.
Yeah, I mean, it is like a movie show. It is like a TV show. It is like like Succession. It is like Billions. It is like Blackberry or We Crash. Any of these movies. Every Sunday the last 4 or 5 years, Hamid and I were meeting every single Sunday. Gave up going out countless number of times. My friends even stopped calling me because I wouldn't go out with them. Every single day we have new companies, new projects, new investors. So I know we focus around the virtual staffing company, but I think what people will see in the next 5 years is really an end-to-end solution for law firms, from a law firm starting to the law firm having 300, 400, 1,000 staff, a part of them. So no, I do think there will be a movie. I do think there will be something about this. I think what's going to come the next 5 years is going to be something very remarkable.
Well, I hope I'm always going to be here so I can say live, love, laugh, LegalSoft and kind of see the future, because I know it's going to be so crazy and there's like all the stuff that I've seen in 1 year, because when I came here it was like 10, 12 people, and now there's 50 of us. So kind of just seeing how much
50
it's grown.
locally, another 200,
Yeah.
300 remote.
That's insane. I don't know any other company. When I started working here, I didn't even know well, I knew what virtual staffing was, but not to this extent where it's like, oh, people actually are virtual staff. Because I thought it was like when COVID happened, you work home like remotely,
Yeah.
so you're like a virtual staff, but not so in Ecuador, like Nicaragua. Like that's insane.
Yeah. No,
Crazy.
It's very insane, very crazy. Hopefully I get to travel to all these places, meet everyone. A lot of new initiatives I'm excited to do and be part of it all.
Okay, so I know you've like spoken before at like different events. Is there something else in the future that you would want to do to like educate others or like speak about your experiences or what you want to do for the future?
Yeah, I think some of the synergies that worked really well at this organization was, me and Hamid's similarities. Uh, he's doing it at a different level, his experiences and all that stuff, but I think at the core, passion levels, ambition levels were very similar. And so, from the start, I know, like the passion is growing these businesses. Like whenever we work with any of these new law firms, and they themselves were like a 3-4 person staff, and now they're like a 90 100 person staff, and the firms that we work with now are the firms that a lot of people look up to. And so that's kind of one of the most, remarkable things that we do. And a lot of times we lose for years just to make sure we keep our reputation and that firm stuff grow. And so, yeah, we'd love to continue doing that on a bigger stage, better stage. The workshops are coming. We're trying to do a lot of new law.
Drink up your coconut water.
We're trying to do a lot of new law firm conferences. I
Yeah.
think, what you can learn in what would take a new attorney 4 years to learn, we could teach them in 6 months.
Exactly.
And so they can be the same size they'd be in a few years in, just a year. And so I think it's important to get that message across. It's important to tell people how to do it. And there's no need for them to, delay that process.
I see. So let's just say I wanted to book, because I know we do like people do demos or they're watching this and they want to book a demo. Instead of like going to someone in our sales or someone else to like answer that, can they book directly with you too? And just maybe want to see from your perspective how you've done things, is maybe they, what is that word? Feel
Yeah.
maybe closer to you, like they like the stuff that you're saying kind of like resonate with what you're like about.
Yeah, yeah. I get texts all day long, and
Tell us your phone number, then we'll just bleep it out.
no, I mean, they could email me, they could direct message me on Instagram. I'm public. I'm on the website. I'm everywhere. So no, I definitely love getting reached out to.
You're just so popular.
So popular. It's
Everyone wants a piece of you.
No, I mean, hopefully it expands, and whatever we've learned here, we can share with other people.
So let's just get to it. Do you have a middle name?
No middle name. My parents gave up on my middle name. Gave my sisters both middle names, but not me.
But do they call you like Nathaniel, or is it just Nathan?
Nathan, Nate Dog, Nate, any of those.
And where do those like nicknames come from? Like rooted from? Friends, family?
7th grade AIM name.
Oh my God, I miss AIM. That was cute.
Yeah, Nate Dog Baller.
So you used to like video chat people on AIM? Like send little messages, oh, like VC me, ?
Yeah, and the way statuses and whatever song we're listening to at that moment.
Did you always like grow up in the Valley, or have you ever lived anywhere else?
Grew up in the Valley, lived in Northern California for 2 years for school, and then moved back.
Where is Northern California?
In Berkeley.
So you went to Berkeley for your bachelor's degree?
Yes. Yeah, I went to Berkeley with a few of my friends.
Did you like it there?
Yeah, it was like a very college town. Lived on frat row, a lot of fun, exciting, educational moments.
I see. So were you in a fraternity?
No, I lived on frat row, had a bunch of friends in frats, but never made time for
Why?
fraternities.
You were so busy with becoming a philosopher or getting your philosophy degree that you don't want to join a frat?
And it was just a lot of work. It was pretty hectic joining a
I
frat. I
see.
was like, you have to like rush, and you have to go through the hazing, and
You're just not down.
was not down.
I see.
No.
Tell us where you went to high school.
Went to Taft High School.
Okay. Did you play any sports?
Played volleyball for a few years.
So when we like Google your name on Google, like Nathan Sumekh, your volleyball photo comes up, right?
Yes, I'm so glad you've done that. My Max Preps
Are
photo
you
comes up.
you didn't play basketball, any other sports?
No, we tried playing basketball, and then it was just too competitive. So me and
see.
a lot of my friends just went to volleyball.
I like that. I remember because I went to Elko, so you guys would always like play against our school, so it was like really competitive, and then just a lot of stuff would happen between the two.
Yeah, yeah, high school was a great time. Yeah, I'm glad it's done.
Yeah.
And we went from there to college, and I know college, whenever I transitioned towards my last year, I was just so focused on work. And like,
What kind of work were you doing? Were you working during like your schooling, or what were you doing?
yeah, me and my buddies always had some company or some program that we were doing and trying to figure out, and it all kind of led up to kind of where we are now.
I see. So one of the questions I asked, so let's just say you're 16 years old again. A lot of people nowadays are like, oh, like I'll just be like so rich when I'm older. I really don't have to do anything. I'll marry rich or I'll do something on those lines. But you're saying an aspect that like you and your friends always had an idea of what you want to do, like a business model or something that you want to do. At what age or what kind of put you in that mindset that you're like, one day I want to do this, and then you've actually accomplished it on like others?
Yeah, I think I always, growing up, being a first generation, parents were immigrants, moved here from Iran. My mom traveled like 4 days on camel out of Iran and came here, and we grew up on food stamps, like a one-bedroom apartment. Then my dad started a small business, and so we're always rooted in small businesses and growing businesses, and it was just the only way we knew how to survive. And so in high school, I had a project where I sold things on Amazon. I was one of the first hair product sellers on Amazon.
Oh my God, look at you. Always a business mindset, entrepreneurship. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of things I wasted my time with, but some things really worked out.
And then just tell us, so you graduate Berkeley. Did you go straight there into after high school? Or did you go to like a 2-year community college?
Went to community college for 2 years, then transferred to Berkeley.
Okay. So then what year did you graduate Berkeley? And then how did you start LegalSoft? Did it just come?
High school 2016, Berkeley 2020.
This wasn't kind of handed to you, but you actually worked for it.
Yeah, no, nothing was handed. I mean, I graduated from Berkeley. Um, I wanted to first do a few things with my dad and his company, but then that industry wasn't doing as well. And so luckily I got connected with Alex Topher from Topher Associates, worked at his firm for a few years, led their marketing, business operations and development with Hamid, who was their COO at the time. And then coincidentally, one of the intake manager's staff didn't show up one day.
Okay.
And we missed like a few big cases that we wanted to sign up. So I started doing intake for that law firm just to make sure we get the cases signed up. And then I had some experience with overseas staff, and Hamid had some experience with them, and few people around us had some experience with overseas staff. And so in the interim, we looked overseas to find talent to do intake because we didn't have anything. And after we found this one intake staff, his name was Ed, he was doing the intake, and after 2 weeks, we saw that we're getting 3 times the number of signups. We saw the staff cares way more. They're showing up on time, and it was like a fourth of the cost. And then from there, we were like, okay, great, let's get 2-3 more of these. And then, from there, Alex and his friends and everyone that we knew said, what are you guys doing? What's working? And it was the overseas intake staff. And then from there, we expanded from 1 firm to 2, 3, 4. I still stayed with Alex and his firm for about a year after that. And then from there just kind of grew the virtual staffing side and a few other services. But before all of this, I mean, initially we're just going door knocking. I was knocking on doors for like 4 months.
That's fun.
With 0 clients, and yeah. So it was, yeah.
Okay, so when you say virtual staffing, so people always think that, oh, that's like for everything, whatever. But it's just for law firms, correct? So it's just virtual legal staffing just for law firms that we do here at LegalSoft.
Yeah.
Let's clarify that.
Yeah. No, it was only for law firms. So we hyper focused on the legal industry. Basically everything I knew from working at Topher for a few years, we translated into training the intake staff, training the overseas staff on like the exact way we did it. That worked really well. So all the staff we had wasn't just the staff, but it was like fully training them, which is what a lot of law firms miss. It's like they bring in the staff and then they go work on their cases, but no one really trains them. So LegalSoft was helpful because you get a staff at half the cost or quarter the cost, but then you also get a trained staff. And then I went from intake and then said, okay, great. Well, case management isn't that special either for pre-litigation. So you have some case managers collecting documents, collecting medical records, following up with clients. The whole 9 yards was outsourced.
Okay, since you know so much about law firms, who do you think as like an intake case manager or like paralegal or like the legal assistant, who's the core that kind of makes the law firm run instead of like the attorney that kind of is facilitating like all the work, like that key person? Without them there, like the law firm's not making money, nothing's happening.
Yeah, it really starts with the core staff in the office, and you got to build around them. So you have a core staff in the office who know what they're doing, and then it's a matter of like kind of growing that core staff and scaling them up. So it's about having that one core staff, then taking off the medical records, taking off the following up with clients, taking off the intake, so that one core staff can increase your average settlements, can increase your whole firm. And so really the whole thing with me and the law firm thing, I mean, 2021, we were just starting, didn't really have anything going on. And then through 10 hours a day of work, and then through COVID, I unfortunately gained like 35 pounds through the whole process. Luckily, putting it off now. But yeah, it was crazy. But it all worked out.
Yeah, I mean, I've only been here for a year and I've seen such exponential growth, so it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's been a hell of a ride.
Did you always think that you wanted the legal aspect, or like, why don't, okay, I'll just say it 'cause I always say it, you don't want to go to law school since you just know so much, or would you just rather take care of the law firms from all like the education you've had, all like the research that you've done that you just know how to operate, or you can just be a lawyer yourself, so why don't you?
Yeah, I had a friend call me today, and he said 6 out of my 7 friends are all lawyers, and they're like, "Hey, look, if you became a lawyer, you'd do better than all of us." The main thing, the main thing is, my goal and passion was, and same thing Hamid says, is we don't want to operate a firm. We want to grow business, want to grow firms. I mean, in college, my goal besides creating revenue was building a huge team of like 300-400 people.
Which you have.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
you
I
have.
think
Let's give the credit where it's due. Which you have.
yeah, I think we hit the 300 now. There's about constantly growing that, and so that's always been the passion of growing big teams.
Do you think eventually you would want to take your mindset off the legal and then kind of go into the different ways, like medical or like regular virtual staffing, or helping like other businesses like grow, like how LegalSoft has, or the law firms you've helped?
Yeah, I think everything within LegalSoft and the industry, we're going to continue growing in different industries and different places. That's going to grow. But personally, I think this is one portion of what we started, what we're doing. The next few steps is kind of like what's next for me, and hopefully this goes well for the next 5 years, and then I hope to kind of step into more of like a venture capital, private equity, where we actually get to start other companies, start other businesses. I know for myself, starting this at a pretty young age was disgusting. It was so hard.
Yeah.
There's so many things you don't know. There's so many times you get screwed over, and so finding other individuals who are in a similar place that I was, being able to invest in them and then growing them is definitely the path and where I kind of want to go in the future.
So where do you see yourself in like 5 years? So 2029, what am I expecting to see from you, or what is everyone gonna like see? What are you gonna do that's gonna be like crazy? Or what are your dreams like that that you can accomplish, or just like stuff that you want to?
Yeah. So first is really doubling and tripling down on what we currently have. I think right
Besides
now,
LegalSoft, I
besides,
want to talk about you. So
yeah,
besides LegalSoft, we know LegalSoft will be 10 out of 10 always. What are your goals in like your future?
yeah. My goals in the future is really just focus on the current moment.
Okay.
It's really just like I gotta because there's no future unless you kind of get there.
Okay. I
And
see.
so it's super important to like every single day I wake up, how do we make the services better? How do we make the company better? How do we grow? How do we make sure the staff is happy? But I think once I get a second to like calm down and do that, then yeah, I think eventually, I mean, hopefully, getting married,
Aw.
5 years.
How many kids are we talking about or thinking
I think
about?
everybody wants to have as many kids as they grew up with.
Yeah.
I grew up with 2 older sisters. It was a perfect situation for me.
So do you prefer like 2 boys, 1 girl, 2 girls, 1 boy, all boys, all
It
girls?
was rough having 2 older sisters, but I think it helped in a lot of different ways.
But I feel like when you have a sister, because they like they're like nurturing, as you say all the time, that you're like this because of growing up with like sisters and like a mom. But if you have brothers, you're more like, I don't know, like hastily, like aggressive, like you wouldn't be so like kind and like the way you are. So I feel like having daughters will portray that for like your future too.
Yeah, I think both of them have their pros and cons. I have my guy friends who just have 2 older brothers, and they're just a lot more aggressive than me.
Yeah, which we don't like. We don't want aggressiveness.
To each their own.
To each their own. So I want to know, do you have anything planned for yourself in like 2024? If you want to give us a hint on what you're working on.
Yeah, I mean, luckily the team's grown here, and we have a lot of managers and people involved. So now we had some more time, and so I recently started writing the book. Well, almost finished the book the last 2 years. Been writing virtual staffing for law firms. So that's going to come out 2024. It's pretty much done. The cover looks great.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Looking forward to getting that out there.
And then can you give us like a glimpse, like what typically about virtual staffing are you talking about? What is like the key
Yeah.
components that people should look for?
So a lot of people know about virtual staffing and they have virtual staff and they think they're an expert on it.
Mm-hmm.
Having hired probably over 2,500 of them and setting them up and managing them and being so hands-on initially, there's a lot of key things that you have to do to make it success. Growing past 5 virtual staff successfully gets a little challenging, 5 to 10. So the book kind of outlines per practice area, per position, what are the KPIs to be tracking, how to onboard them, what are the incentive programs, how to keep them happy, where to find them, what countries are the best for what positions. And so it's basically just all of our key tips and secrets all into one book. And if you're an operations manager or you're an attorney, you can jump to any section of the book and just see what pertains to you.
Oh, that's nice.
So if you want to see what tools your intake staff should use, all the tools are in there with the description. If you want to know what kind of KPIs to set up for your intake staff or case manager, you just jump to that section. It's all in there. And then it has QR codes. So if you want to scan something, get an actual job description, or scan something and get access to our tracking sheet for deliverables for your team, you can do that. And it's all in there.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
really like technology future-wise. I never seen the QR codes on books before. You mentioned KPIs. Okay, before I started working here, I don't know what KPIs are, whatever. So when everyone throws that term around, why is it so important? What does that mean, giving your case manager or your intake KPIs? What does that mean? What do you
Yeah.
get from making your KPI?
Yeah, really what it comes down to is if you hire someone, you want some results. A lot of companies hire someone and go and don't really know what's working, what's not working. The person is busy, but what are they doing? So KPIs is basically you're paying someone, $2,500, $3,000, $10,000 a month. What are you getting out of it? So creating some real KPIs, key performance indicators, that kind of show you what your return on is on your investment. So if it's, for instance, collecting medical records, did you collect 100 medical records in 1 month? And making sure everything's profitable. And then as you're growing, making sure the KPIs are growing with you. Whoever's doing well, bonusing them. Yeah.
So do you think that's like really important in any industry, not even like law firms or like legal world? Everyone should just have KPIs because it kind of shows your value to the business, right?
Yeah, we started incorporating KPIs in like my friend group chats. It's like who's gonna do what, who's doing what, who's late, who's on time. But yeah, if you're managing sales, if you're managing any business, it's important to like kind of create monthly KPIs. I think one thing we talk about with new lawyers who are just starting out, who have no idea, they say, I'm just gonna go start my own firm. And a lot of these new people say, I want to be as big as person X, right? And then, okay, great. What does person X have?
Yeah,
What
you're
is-
right. I hear that a lot too. I want to be like this person, but they don't know what goes into it.
Well, what does person X have? Okay, they have 3,000 cases. Okay, how do you get 3,000 cases? How much does that cost you?
Yeah.
Okay, it costs you, $3 million. Okay, how are you gonna get $3 million? Okay, you can't. So by year 1, you have to have this. But setting up some realistic expectations.
Yeah.
And if you can plan that ahead of time, you can say, okay, I need $500,000 to get started.
And where do they get the $500,000? Like loans?
They can call Paniz. They can call.
Like call mommy and daddy, or like a loan? Because okay, let's just say I just graduated. I want to start my own law firm.
Yeah.
I have to get a loan, realistically, right? Because no one has $500,000 laying around.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real. Where are people getting their money from?
Sure.
What you've seen.
Yeah. It really starts with having a clear plan.
Okay.
If you have a plan on what you're going to do with the money, where you're going to go with it, you'll have no problem getting money in. There's enough money, especially if you're in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
People want to bet on a winning horse, but if you're just kind of starting your firm and you have no idea what a budget is, you have no idea what expenses are, you have no idea how to generate cases, you have no track record.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even get a loan. You shouldn't even be allowed to leave your house. Let alone start your own firm. But if you have someone mentoring you, coaching you, who says, okay, you need $500,000. You need to spend $100,000 a month on ads. You need to spend $50,000 a month on staff. By month 3, you need to hire 2 assistant case managers, and you have a clear plan laid out. People will take 20% of your firm initially, give you that money, and you'll grow. We see that more and more every single day with people who have some actual plans.
Does LegalSoft offer something like that? Where if I just graduate like law school, I need help. Do you guys help me?
Yeah, LegalSoft is very creative. First, because of our passion of just wanting to help if we can help. Connecting with the right people, supporting you ourselves. Every single day we do some weird, funky deal to just help, especially new attorneys. Even if it's like, a new attorney comes here who doesn't know what's going on, they just fell off the bar. Connecting them with a mentor, or connecting them with a bigger firm who can refer them 20 cases a month, whatever it is, to really get the firm started. And of course, we don't do this with everyone. It's those who are ambitious, those who are like smart, who are committed. We do that with.
I agree. So it's like Shark Tank. I come and say, I want to open my own law firm. I need you guys to like invest in me. So then that's basically what LegalSoft does. So who are you as one of the characters or the judges or whoever they are, the investors?
I wouldn't say we're a Shark Tank. We just want to help. So depending on who it is and how it is, we want to make sure we can connect with the right person and help. Who am I as one of the investors? I don't know. Every single day it's different. Some days we're wonderful. Some days we're Mark Cuban. Some days we're Barbara. Depends on the day. Depends who we're talking with and what kind of mood we're in.
I always hear, because you say, and so does Hamid, because Hamid's always told me before too, like, I don't do things just to expect something back in return. We always want to help. And you say the same things as well. So do you think that's a better mentality to have than like, oh, I'm going to do this for this person so they can do this one for me too? Like kind of getting a win-win. But I feel like you guys don't expect that back in return. I feel like that's why the core company's culture, us being like successful, is because of that mindset. So how do you think people should be in that mindset and kind of ensure that they'll be successful that way too, not necessarily trying to get a win from someone else too?
Yeah, I think you miss a lot of the shots you don't take. And so if you always expect to get something in return right away, you don't know really what can come out of it in the future.
Yeah.
So yeah, for us, it's like, if there's a way of making it work with someone or referring them to someone or building that relationship, we will. And hopefully they do blow up, and hopefully we were a part of it.
I like that. What else should we chit chat about? I feel like I'm missing so many questions. Oh, what's like your favorite color?
Favorite color is green.
Why? Because of money?
No.
Because of plants?
I don't
why
know.
Do we like
it's
green?
always just been green. I think everyone was always blue growing up. Everyone's like
It's a boy color. Like how mine's pink and you're blue right now.
Yeah. No, I think mine was just green because it's a little kind of like blue, but green.
Okay. What's your favorite number?
16. 4th grade. My teacher, Miss Wynn, numbered all of us like we're cows.
That's funny.
And I was 16, and it just stuck with me to be 16.
Do you know what cow means in Farsi?
No, but you always call someone it.
Gov.
Yes.
What languages do you know how to speak? Like fluently, not like butchering like words.
Farsi and English.
Okay. Should we like say something in Farsi? Talk to me in Farsi. We can do like translations after. Let's do something impressive. Let's impress the people who are actually listening that we can speak different languages.
Fuck, this was not ready for this one.
سلام.
خوبی؟
خوبم مرسی.
این هفته شما plans دارین؟
It's so funny when you talk. Yes, من دارم ساندی میرم ایتالی برای 2 هفته بعدن نیستم برای تولدم.
به پاریس هم میرین ها؟
نه فقط دارم میرم ونیس، مولان، روم and Florence.
آها، برای پاریس
بودم. تو رفتی؟
بله، من یه بار رفتم. خیلی خیلی دوست داشتم. میخوام دوباره برم.
Did you go to the Eiffel Tower?
Yeah, I went to the Eiffel Tower when it was freezing cold.
Did the sparkling
Alone.
lights? Oh, you traveled there alone?
Yeah. I was there
Look
alone
at
for 3
you.
days.
I like that. So you're not scared to be alone. You've learned how to be by yourself. You're not waiting for someone to like always be there.
Yeah, no, I like my alone time for
Do
sure.
you like being independent?
Yeah.
Why? Because you've grown up with 2 sisters, mom and dad. Everyone's always there. So you want to be alone now?
Yeah, no, I'm very not independent, and there's always someone there to help me. Like when everyone always helps me. But yeah, I definitely like having a breather with no one around.
Okay, perfect. 10 out of 10. I have no more questions. 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Thank you so much for watching our podcast today with the Vice President of LegalSoft, Nathan Sumekh. We had a bunch of fun doing chit-chatting, asking questions about his personal stuff that he's done before and about LegalSoft. If you loved our podcast or you're watching it while you drive, make sure to subscribe, follow, review, and also send it to your friends so they can also learn more about the different things that happen in law firms so they can get a new perspective that they may not have. If you're not on YouTube, then you can subscribe to the LegalSoft podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, and a bunch of different other platforms. So you can always have an ears out for the LegalSoft podcast. Or if you want to be a guest on the LegalSoft podcast and for me to ask you 21 questions, you can book a call now on our website, www.legalsoft.com/podcast.